Going to bring in Jake Gyllenhaal here.
Hey.
Hey, there you are.
Hey, sorry guys.
No worries.
I've been sitting here and I'm like, wait, how does this work? Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
No problem.
Like,
are you mobile
okay,
somewhere?
good. I am sitting in a car, so let me just turn off the air so that you guys can.
Are you actually driving yourself somewhere?
Yeah, no, it's weird. I'm on my way to work. I'm at work, but I'm sitting in the car. So
no, this is perfect because this is how we like to think of people listening to the show. So, Jake, you're playing the role of a listener right now, which is a role you've never taken on before, I think. Jake Gyllenhaal with us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Hey, thanks for coming on. We were just talking about you earlier, and, with the roles that you take on, Sisney actually said something very funny, which was, I don't even know if I know who Jake Gyllenhaal is. Because every time he takes on a role, it's like so mental and physical,
Exactly.
Like, that's a compliment.
Oh, that is a compliment. Thank you. That's sweet. I mean, I think that's the role of the actor, isn't it? I mean, in a way. Right?
So who are you?
We would like to get to know Jake.
I am I'm an actor,
Yes?
and I play different roles. But as a person, my name is Jake Gyllenhaal, and I've been doing it for a while.
And do you? Is this true then? Do you bake sourdough bread? Is that something that Jake Gyllenhaal does?
Yes, I have been known to bake sourdough bread, which is not a common occurrence amongst those of us who have been through this period of time. I think sourdough bread baking has become popular, but I've continued through.
Oh, fermented foods are a whole category of love for me.
Oh yes, the smell, the early stages of the smelling of a starter. There's nothing like it.
So Jake is here. He's got Guy Ritchie's The Covenant in theaters, and thinking about this role and other roles that we were talking about a second ago that you take on, these are not things where I would imagine you just you show up and you do your work and then you can put it down. It seems very physically and mentally demanding for this role and a lot of the roles that you're well known for. Before you jump into something like this, what goes through your mind? Is there a last weekend of reality before something like this role sets in?
It's funny. This movie was a blast to make. So, there are moments where I'm being sort of dragged across the desert by the guy who plays my interpreter because I get my character gets pretty injured. But I shot that basically just sitting in a cart, so that wasn't that difficult or laying there. But Guy Ritchie, who directed the movie, he barbecues every day. So he has a barbecue on set, and so basically we only had 60 pages of a script. We didn't have a full written script. So he would write as the days went on, and we would all eat in the morning. Like, he'd make coffee at the barbecue in the morning. We'd talk about the scenes we were going to do. And then he would cook throughout the day. So it wasn't really that tough.
Right. So you're playing Army Sergeant John Kinley, and there's blood rolling down your forehead, and you're smelling the aroma of hickory.
I mean, yes, that's perfectly put. Yes. There is a scene. Yes, there's a scene where I get hit by the butt of a gun, and I do bleed, and I am bleeding in some of it. But yeah, off screen, when we finished, there was a lot of fun. I mean, Guy Ritchie's, the Guy Ritchie we know. He's a blast. He's hilarious, and I think that's the thing. Some people, and over the years I've learned, it's taken me a long time to learn, I think acting is somewhat of a ridiculous thing, but also pretty incredible at the same time. You have to have an imagination to do it. Sometimes I've taken roles I played very seriously and dug in really deep and lived the life of the character and all that. But I've discovered that the person who I am, the person what I really love to do is use my imagination. So I love doing a scene and then being able to break from it and then have a good time after.
Yeah, well,
I mean, there are moments that something's very emotional. Yeah, but generally, it should be fun.
But tell us about this guy, because he's carrying a serious burden.
Yeah, I play his name's John Kinley. He's a special operations sergeant, and his group of soldiers is tasked with finding munitions in Afghanistan, and they struggle doing that. And early on in the movie, they lose their interpreter, and he's assigned a new one he doesn't really like very much. And then they get into some trouble, and then the two of them are left together, and they have to sort of survive. And the interpreter ends up saving his life. And in short, basically, after a very long journey of getting him, John, my character, back to the States, he realizes his interpreter is still there. And so he goes back because of the burden that he feels for having his life saved, and not feeling like he can really live his own life if he doesn't save the other person who saved his life.
Wow.
So he goes back, and he goes through the journey of saving Ahmed, his interpreter, and his family, to bring them back to America and fulfill the promise of getting him the visa that all the interpreters were promised.
Were promised, right? And the promise, not fulfilled. And it got me to thinking about, you look at the news, and I'm watching these drones getting citizens out of Sudan in convoys, and you just start wondering what's really going on, or what promises are made that are not fulfilled.
Yeah, we have an ethos, I think, of no one left behind. That is our ethos. And I think, the relationship between interpreters all over the world and the soldiers who, one of my favorite lines in the movie is, I say, so you're going to tell me, I say to him, like, he helps me with something. I say, you're going to tell me how to speak English. And I said, what are you here to, you're here to translate. And he says, I'm not here to translate. I'm here to interpret. And I think it's about interpreting behavior, cultural behavior, and helping and saving lives. My good friend was a Marine. He fought in Fallujah, and his interpreter, he says he owes his life to. He's since brought his interpreter's daughters to the States, and they now work for New York City. And, I think there's this exchange between cultures. We all share a common humanity,
Yeah.
and I think it's hard to see that. But it is true, and that's what this movie is about, is the shared humanity of two men from two completely different places, and the ethos that we have as a country, which is no one left behind.
Guy Ritchie's The Covenant in theaters now. Go see it, right? Go see it on the big
Sounds
screen.
incredible.
Now,
it's also really entertaining. I mean, it is like an action movie, so I mean,
there's a lot going on.
I mean, we like to call it an action parable because it's not like this like heavy. It's emotional because I think it leaves you feeling like the goodness in your own heart. I believe, like, as Americans, we're a country made of heroes. We really are. And I think that is oftentimes reluctant heroes, but heroes nonetheless. And it's a movie that reminds you of the good that America can do and can be. And that's inspiring. And at the same time, you'll pay for your seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Well, thanks for calling, man. I know you said you're on your way to work. Are you doing another film now?
I'm doing a show. I'm doing this Apple series called Presumed Innocent, which is an incredible cast and incredible group of people. So yeah, we're doing that right now. So
well, good to see.
I turned off the air in my car, so I'm just slowly sweating.
So brave.
Yeah, you're glistening now. Jake, thanks for calling, buddy. Have a great day at work. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for making the time. Thanks so much, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
A nice guy.
Now I feel like I know him.
I'm in love with him.
I know.
You know what I mean?